Hi everyone, it's Mary Beth from MBGrayDesigns. Welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a Dollar Tree DIY for you. We're going to be making a sign. So I picked up 3 of those love signs. The heart sign says Happy Valentine's Day on it. And then 3 packs of the rulers. They come 2 in a pack. And showing you the paint that you'll need. I'm using Plaster by Waverly, and then I'm using Debi Designs Diary DIY paint in the color Weathered Wood. That is actually a clay-based paint that I absolutely love. And then I was just showing you some clear wax. So yeah, first, and a heat tool or a hair dryer is helpful to dry, the paint in between coats. So to begin, I start by trying to remove this banner thing. It was a little bit harder than I thought, but yeah, so working on that. Also, you'll need some sandpaper. When I was filming this, I was actually talking. I didn't realize I would do a voiceover, so the video is going to look a little weird probably at times with my hands talking. But yeah, so we got that off. I was a little disappointed with how much of that particle wood or whatever it ripped off. So I was a little concerned about that. But yeah, so I'm talking about sandpaper. We're going to sand that down. You don't have to sand with using chalk paint or clay-based paint, but my goal here was to try to even out where that banner was because it ripped it up, and then I kind of just ended up sanding the whole thing anyway. So that's what I'm doing right here. While I'm doing that, just want to thank everyone for stopping by. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. I do a lot of paper crafting as well as, some crochet. And I do a lot of DIYs, home decor, but I just have not filmed any. This is my first one I filmed. So hopefully I'll start doing some more of those for you. I also like to paint and draw, so all kinds of artsy fartsy little things. So yeah, I'm pulling the tags off here on those 3 small signs. Here's where I'm going to pull that heat gun out because the adhesive is kind of stuck, and so it'll warm it up and make it come off a lot easier, which is a great little tip that, I don't know, I saw somebody do that on their channel, so yay, that's awesome. And yeah, for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus over the holidays, and so I'm happy to be back. So thank you. Okay, so yeah, heating that up again. So the sign I'm making, I'm using those 3 pieces I told you about. The heart's going to kind of go towards the top middle. And then at the bottom, I'm going to use my Cricut to print out our last name, which is Gray. So it's going to say The Grays, established 2018, because that's when we got married. But if you don't have a Cricut, I just got mine over Christmas, and it's a lot of fun. I'm still learning on that. But if you do not have a Cricut, you can use stickers. You can print something off on Word, from Word on just computer paper, and use graphite paper or whatever to transfer that over, and then use a paintbrush or marker or something. So don't worry about it if you don't have, a Cricut. You could still do some really cool things. I was just showing you my cute little mason jar. I don't know why I was showing that. Anyways, I'm going to start with the Weathered Wood paint. Again, clay-based. Very, very thick. Chalk paint is thick as well. This, I would say, is a little bit thicker. You want to use water with it. You'll see here later, I'll start using more water. And it, like I said, a little goes a long way. And it's pretty dark when you put it on. It's going to dry to a grayish color. And you'll see that here in just a little bit. Oh, I got this tip from somebody. I wish I remembered who, but another DIY channel. Maybe it was according to Cat. I don't know. I can't remember, so I'm sorry. I can't credit them. But fill in those little holes with hot glue. That is brilliant. Instead of having to pull off the wood filler and all that. So that is what I'm doing to all of these signs. I know I put a little bit of too much hot glue in, like that one. So I'm going to have to sand it down a little bit, later, but that's okay. You can kind of see where that clay base paint is drying a little bit. It's a charcoaly gray over to the right. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep painting this. And you're going to see here, I'm going to have, I think I show it. I get there it is, a little cup of water. And literally I'm just going into the water now, and it's going to kind of even that out, smooth it out. It's amazing how opaque it is. It's extremely opaque. And I absolutely love it. One cool thing with clay paint is if you, let's say it's dry, you can rehydrate it like you can with chalk paint. So if you start to rehydrate it with, let's say a spray bottle or something, you can scrape it up. It becomes consistency of clay. So it's pretty cool. You can do some cool designs with it, while you're painting furniture or what have you. So I'm still learning about it. But again, I'll try to remember to link Debi Designs Diaries YouTube channel. This is her paint, and I got it off of her website. So yeah, so there's that. So yeah, I'm going to go through, I'm going to paint the 3 signs plus the heart in this color. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to paint it in the color plaster on top of this, so that when I distress, I see this darker color. I don't want to see that light tan wood color underneath when I distress. So that's why I decided to do that. Here I'm just reminding you, don't forget to do your edges. Sometimes I forget. So yeah, we're just not forgetting to do our edges. Oh, this was an epic fail. I pulled this burlap off. Glitter went everywhere. I got glitter in the wet paint. I mean, it was, yeah, that was not fun. But we dealt with it. All right, so there's the heart. And as you can see, the color, the weathered wood, dries very nicely to a lighter color. It's a weathered wood color. And so the other thing I'm explaining, I'm trying to sand down. I did sand down more on that heart. I didn't perfectly sand it out. But one thing you want to do in between coats, or at least what I do, is I use a 220 grit sandpaper, even when not distressing. And I rub over my project lightly, and it will give you this silky smooth, buttery feeling. Also, it will help eliminate some of your paint stroke lines if you have them. So I always do that, even with furniture or whatever I'm painting. And then, yeah, so next what I'm doing, I'm cleaning up a little bit here. Oh, yeah, when you wipe this off, make sure you don't use a damp cloth. You don't want to rehydrate that paint, also with chalk paint as well. Okay, so now I'm going to put the chalk paint on in the color plaster, right over this heart, over the brownish, grayish color. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm explaining here. Yeah, so my brush is damp. It's not sopping wet, but it's damp. I like to mix just a little bit of water in with my brush. I start at the very top. I will go down very softly all the way down to the bottom. If I go up from the bottom, I make sure I go the whole way, up and down the whole entire way. That will help control how many brush strokes, like eliminating those brush strokes, I guess, as much as possible. I use the excess up at the top to do the edge. And yeah, so I'm kind of showing you that is how I like to paint. Trial and error. Like I said, I've done quite a bit of painting with furniture and everything, and I really don't enjoy those brush strokes. So combination of doing it this way and then using that 220 grit sandpaper really does help with that. Okay. So I am going to just finish up painting this. My original intention was to paint it completely with the plaster color, like opaque, like not letting any of the brown show through. So I was going to do 2 coats. But since I started seeing this and I started really liking the way that it looked with that brown showing through. I mean, although I'm going to distress it, right? I was going to have some showing through anyway. I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to go fully opaque on it. So I did not. I left it. You'll see here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm just going through and doing the edges now. Yeah, so I think this is all the painting you'll have to see. Sorry about that. I think I painted everything else off camera. But yeah, I'm liking how that looks. And what am I doing now? Oh, I got a little, I got my finger in the paint at the bottom, so I was just kind of correcting that. And yeah, making sure my brush strokes are good. Yeah, so moving right along. I think I was talking about that in the middle. I was pretty upset about that, but oh my gosh, it's going to be distressed, so who really cares, right? But I'm going to take my heat gun, probably start painting everything else, drying in between the coats. And yeah, so we'll just continue on here. Let's see, it looks like I came back. There I am, it's all dry. And I got two coats were put on those signs of the plaster on top of the weathered wood paint using a 220 again to smooth it out. And I'm not kidding, it feels like butter or silk, or it's so smooth. And so I like that. And so I'm going through kind of showing that, trying to figure out, I think I was kind of, oh, rulers. Yes, this is where I brought in the rulers. I'll explain this. So pull those black pieces off. Super easy to pull off. We're going to paint those in that weathered wood paint. But first, that hole's a little bit bigger. So I decide to use, it's called, hold on, Dry Decks, Dry Time Indicator, Spackling, and nail hole filler. So it goes on pink and then it dries white. So I use that, but you could use the hot glue, or if the holes don't bother you, don't worry about it. Here I'm showing you I distressed the sides. On two of them I distressed 3 sides. On the middle one, only the right and left side. So then I was kind of talking about, I'm going to figure out where to place this. And then there's grooves on the back of those rulers. So I was going to kind of use that to my advantage and butt them up against the top of the sign. I don't know if that's making any sense, but, and that's how I was going to glue those on. So it took 2 on either side, 2 rulers, and then 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom to frame it out. Gotta be honest, I struggled with this. A lot of it was off camera, but I couldn't find my wood glue. So I ended up using the Gorilla Clear Glue, which does work really well. I've used it before in combination with hot glue. And I was just really struggling, not only gluing the 3 signs vertically, but the frame of it. So that's okay though. I made it through. It's not perfect. Honestly, this is not one of my favorite DIYs I've done. So that's kind of embarrassing that it's the first one I'm putting on YouTube as far as a home decor DIY. But, you just have to push through and see what comes out at the end. And if you don't like it, you can always pretty much take it apart or fix it, do something else to it. So I thought I'm just going to continue to film it, and I will show you guys, how it turned out. So here I'm using, at this point, a 100 grit sandpaper, a little bit harder, because I want to really start distressing up this heart more and seeing that darker color, like grayish brown color coming through. So that is what I'm doing there. Apparently I'm explaining that with my hands. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I didn't know I was going to do a voiceover till later. And I did speed this up, and parts of it I probably should have sped up more. All right, so here we go. So I went to my Cricut. I designed that where it says the grays, established 2018. I have those glued together. I struggled with those 3 pieces. Oh, and I did put, there we go, Kraft sticks on the back to help with it. That did help a lot with the stability of it. So I highly suggest that. Or popsicle sticks, whatever you have, whatever you want. And then, I got some glue, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer. So I already decided I'm going to be putting a ribbon or burlap or something over those seams so that it wouldn't show. So that was okay. That worked out just fine. Here, I'm showing you what I made on the Cricut. Again, you can use stickers, whatever. And I'm trying to figure out where I want to put it. I knew I wanted to put it at the bottom, but I knew I was going to put some type of burlap or ribbon. And I just wanted to make sure that I put it far enough down so when I put whatever over that seam where I glued it, it wouldn't cover up any of the words. So that's what I was doing there. I am not the best with the Cricut or anything because, like I said, I just got it for Christmas. So, so here I go. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of fun. I've wanted one for a couple years, so I was really excited. But yeah, so I'm lining it up, trying to center it. Oh, I think what I was explaining, in hindsight, I wish I would have, the established 2018, I wish that would have been centered under the grays. And I also wish it would have been smaller size font. I didn't want to redo it. I already used the vinyl. So I was like, whatever, it'll still be fine. So I ended up keeping it. But if I did it again, I would have changed that up a little bit. All right, so yeah, here we go. I'm the fun part, you know, I'm releasing the transfer tape so that the vinyl sticks onto the wood. And there we go. So cool how this thing works. I just love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun. I just want to put vinyl on everything now. Everything. All right, so yay. So we got that on. Now I am getting ready to put the, I think I'm explaining, I'm going to figure out what to do about those seams. Also across the heart, not happy with it. You know, I'm just kind of winging this, trying to figure out exactly how I want it to go together. And I work on putting the frame around it out of those rulers. And I really struggled. The first 3 pieces of the rulers went on okay. It was the last, that bottom left one was the one that I for whatever reason, I really, really struggled with trying to get that on and to stay. And I had to put, as a matter of fact, I had to put like some weights on this for a while and just kind of let it dry. So once I did that, kind of re-glued up some things, it worked out okay. So here I am back. They're glued. I've also took some jute rope, string, whatever, and I get mine at Walmart. And I covered that first seam with that instead of burlap. I am then coming back to show you the lighting is different. Sorry. I used this linen ribbon on that upper seam. Didn't really need it because the heart's covering up most of it, but I did it anyway. And then I cut that burlap a little bit thinner and put it around the heart. Here I'm trying to decide what do I want to use, and I end up deciding to use the cotton and some lamb's ear up at the top right, kind of sticking out underneath the heart. So you'll see that here in a minute. But before I do anything, I forgot I needed to protect this. So I used the clear wax, waxed it on, buffed it really well. I should have done that before I put the, twine and the ribbon down, but it's okay. I still made it work. And also with the heart, I just went underneath that burlap, and was able to get all the wax on. It's very important to do that. Otherwise it can chip easily. And it rehydrates with water. So there you go. You definitely want to seal it. So yeah, there it is. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make. I think I'm going to hang it up in my room. Like I said, I'm not too happy with it, but hopefully this gave you some inspiration. And thank you so very much for watching.